Hi, it's Michael Ankrah, founder of Hackner Education, and now the proud author of my brand new book, Learning Naturally. And this is a story about school and how we can ensure that every child succeeds in their education. I'm really, really happy with the publication of this book because, as I said somewhere in the book, it's really an opportunity to put a complete argument together about what I think is the wrong focus of education and how we can change the trend. So I'm just going to take you through a very, very quick run through of the book. And, it starts with obviously the title page. And this book is dedicated to my grandma. This is Nicolina Kwakupo. I'm just going to put the subtitles there. And if we go through the content, there are four parts to this book. Now, the first part says that setting the correct vision. I believe that in every human activity, whether education, whether a relationship, whether a job, anything that we choose to do, it is imperative that we set the correct vision. Because if we don't set the correct vision, what tends to happen? We only end up following the visions of other people because human beings do not just operate. We always operate by some objective, whether the ones we do actively or the ones that has been done for us. And so when it comes to our education, when it comes to going to school, the question then is, what is the vision? And this is not far-fetched. If you want to understand the vision, just think of it this way. If you took your child, say you pay a teacher to teach your child how to swim, you have a clear vision in mind. At the end of the program, you want to see that for your child to be successful, they can swim from point A to point B. That is our objective. So when it comes to school, what really is our objective? And at the present time, I believe that the vision is that go to school, work hard, get a qualification, get a degree, get a certificate, and everything will be okay. So we have a lot of graduates who have qualifications, they have certificates, but they really do not know what to do with the certificate. So that's what I do in chapter 1. And then in chapter 2, I try to look at the product. And then in chapter 3, we look at what actually goes on every day in school. And now this chapter is very important because you see, if you want to build the character of somebody or as human beings, we don't just get up one day and become adults. What we are as adults is the sum total of everything that we've done every day repeatedly. So that if children come to school, the culture, the practices, the beliefs, the systems that operate in school go to shape the kind of adults that they become. And so you would realize that in school, a simple thing like telling children to sit in a particular place or asking permission is denying them the opportunity to make choices, which is very important to develop your leadership potential. So in my class, for instance, if you come to my class, children don't ask permission to go out. They just pick up the lanyard and then they step out. But they are also aware that if they abuse the privilege, there are consequences for it. Similarly, children sit anywhere they want in my class. Again, it's about making the right choices because they need to be able to decide on who am I going to sit, who is going to help me learn, or who is going to actually distract me from learning. So these are some of the things which we really need to examine because people don't just get up one day and become adults. They have gone through life over time to become who they are, and their representation, who they are, is actually a reflection of the experiences that we have given to them in society. And then in chapter 4, I delve into what it means to focus on pupils or to focus on learners. Because if we are being honest, the focus of our education right now, if you come to the UK, school leaders are more interested in satisfying Ofsted. They want to, make sure that they do whatever Ofsted expects. Whether it's in the interest of children or not, they really don't care. So long as they get the Ofsted judgment, they are cool, they are happy. And so I go into what it will actually look like if we want to focus on pupils. And then in chapter 5, we talk of a curriculum for the learner. And that simply looks at where you have a curriculum. After focusing on the child, you are now looking at designing a curriculum which is actually useful to pupils and the community and our society. And then in chapter 6, I go into the step-by-step process of actually designing an effective school curriculum. Then part 3 is about developing leadership, because everything in this world is about leadership. There is the general macro leadership of government, there is school leadership, there is parental leadership, teachers have their leadership roles, and pupils have their leadership. And here I look about the leadership of learning in chapter 7, because frankly, if you go to some schools, what some school leaders do is just going to conduct mini inspections as if they were Ofsted, and I have said somewhere that if that really is your function as a school leader, then you're actually not leading learning. Because to lead learning is to be actively involved in the curriculum, to be actively involved in the development of pupils. And then in chapter 8, we look at learning and accountability. And that actually goes into the story of school and really how this practice of accountability has affected the work of teachers in the classroom. And I provide some practical solutions to this, because really it is a low trust culture where teachers will always have to sort of show evidence for what they've done, and they go and make all the effort to tick the box rather than think of what the children need. And then part 4 really is about the dream, and that is about a school built for tomorrow. And it ends on, just taking your imagination to the kind of education we can have, an education where people come out believing in themselves, believing that they can take on any challenge, believing that if there's a problem somewhere, they could be part of the solution. That is the future we aim for. And then from there we come to just the summary, which is the principles of natural learning, an overview, and it gives you the 8 points that a good education system, I believe, should be able to follow, starting right from setting the correct aim. And then there's the afterword, which is quite interesting. I really enjoyed writing that, because that was just my opportunity to, reflect on some of the questions and discussions that I've had, and then there's a personal note for me, which ends it. So I would really recommend this book to you. Get one, it's learning naturally, and is, be part of the movement for change, because I believe every one of us can be a part of giving ourselves the right kind of education, because frankly, as human beings, our chance of thriving, if you go back to our history, we succeeded because we were able to learn, to educate ourselves, to dominate our world. At the present time, if we are educating people to come and sit down and expect the world to do something for them, we're actually going to, do a disservice to ourselves. We must train people, we must educate people to be able to take on the world, to say that if this is the problem, I can be the solution. And that is what I believe we can do. So my name is Michael Ankrah, and I shall be going into this book in subsequent videos. But go to Amazon, just search Michael Ankrah or search for Learning Naturally, and you can get one of this. It's only £8.95. Thank you for watching, and I shall be with you again.